Hello and welcome back to Operations with Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and today we will be going over Narai and how to do it in a gunboat destroyer. To showcase using a gunboat destroyer, we are going to use my favorite Tier 8 gunboat destroyer, the Akizuki. Now, this is actually kind of why I want to use and get Ship Smasher or Xinjiang or whatever. It's because I like this boat, but I want a premium version. This is why I kind of wish I had Star Kitakaze, but anyways, can't always get what you want. That said, I do enjoy this boat. It's not a premium, and so that's why I don't run it as much, because even though I have 32 million credits at the time, as soon as I unlock some tier 9s, I won't have that, or once I go through the Shimakaze line again, because I need to get my 2 more research tier 10s, research bureau tier 10s, which is why I don't run this ship much. But people going down this line, this is a beauty, and this is where the line starts to shine. All the other tier 7s below it, like Shiratsuyu is a good torpedo boat, but the Akizuki is where they become gunboats. Because they have 100mm guns. Now, the the Pan Asian premiums, they have a longer reload. I think it's 4 point something seconds, and their high explosive has the correct calculation, whereas the Japanese, they just get slapped with 30mm of penetration for high explosive, because magic IJN 100mm shells. Not sure. No one knows why, except for the people who complained way back when they had the original shells. Anyways, because of complainers and DD Mafia, whatever, they were given 30mm penetration for the high explosive to make their high explosive valid. I will be showing you how in this battle that high explosive is not actually... it's not always the best for dealing through damage. And any gunboat destroyer, I've done this with the Kid, I've done this with other gunboats, but you can see how a gunboat destroyer in Narai can really shine with armor piercing. As for skills, what skills am I using? I am using the basic torpedo, basic destroyer skills plus range. And the reason why we have range is so now we have 15 kilometers, and so in other ops you can use that range and farm out to 15 kilometers. I find 14, 15 kilometers with gunboats, that's a good range, because then you're outside of radar range. It's also nice. It's nice being in that range so that you don't have to worry about radar and you just farm and smoke in randoms as well. After this, I would probably go for Adrenaline Rush. What else? I'd actually take Priority Target, because I would want to know where things are. Like, know if things are looking at me. Why'd I go to... I mean, fill the tubes is nice, because that gets you down to from 100. But yeah, Adrenaline Rush, and then I would... after that, it's really up to you. I mean, some people would want to go with more AA and for the main battery reload time to get you down a little bit for more of that, or... another thing is inertia fuse for HE, because this gets you to 37, so now you cross the 32mm threshold, so you can hit a lot of more battleships, and a lot of people with going for randoms, this is what you do, because this allows you to actually do HE damage most of the time. And then I would, if you do this, then I would do Grease the Gears, because now and to get a little bit faster turn time, because even though they're gunboat turrets, they're still not quite the fastest turrets. That or incoming fire alert, because if you want to open water gunboat, then you need some sort of detection skill, either priority target or incoming fire, to help you know that someone's going to be shooting at or is shooting at you, so you can do evasion action. So yeah, those are the skills that I use. Equipment, it's we're using the torpedo tube mod, not for the torpedo speed, but the minus 40% risk of torpedo tubes becoming incapacitated. We have main battery mod. That's torpedo is minus 20%. Risk torpedo tube mod is another minus 40%, and then preventive maintenance for another minus 30%, to get us to minus 90%, hopefully minus 90% of them being incapacitated, because we only have one rack of torpedoes, and the torpedoes do damage, and so that is the reason why we are using it instead of aiming mods. If you really want to be gun focused, you do aiming mod, but having the one rack of torpedoes and them actually being a good source of damage, we are protecting them as much as possible. So that is why I have that instead of the standard choice. Prop mod and concealment as for everything else is just standard destroyer stuff. We have the smoke because I have a lot of those. AA because maybe we'll go into Hermes. The reload for the reload of the torpedo reload booster and the smoke. And then extra fire because we are not taking inertia fuse. We have extra fire, and even if we are, this gets us an extra 1% back. This is why, another reason why inertia fuse is pretty good, because you go from 6% to 3.5. So it starts at 5%, so you're only losing 2.5%. So even still, like you have a low chance of fire and then slightly lower, but it's not actually that low. And so with the flags and actually with demolition expert, you go back up to 4.5. So you go from 5% like base, and then you put the flags on in the skill, and then you go from 5% to 4.5. So you're only losing 0.5% by using the skill and the flags if you're taking IFHE. So that goes to skills. Without any further ado, we'll go ahead and go into battle. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, the team, we have a Tirpitz of Colorado, a Scharnhorst Charles, Helena the Rental Lagao, and me and an Akizuki for our team. All in all, a decent lineup. Scharnhorst and Tirpitz should be doing well. Lagao, I'm not sure why someone's bringing the Rental Lagao into here unless they don't have any French premiums and they want to use a French. Helena is a good ship here, and so is Charles Mattel. So all in all, a decent team. As you can see, we already started off with our reload booster because this will let us throw torpedoes at the ships, and we don't actually use all of our reload, need all three of the reload boosters, so we might as well start off with one. And we have AP loaded, no, not high explosive, but armor piercing, and you'll see the reason here shortly. Now, no one has radar or any long distance sight, so the Tirpitz this is a random tactic where they use it to find the enemies. If the spawns weren't fixed, then maybe it would have use. But since the spawns are fixed, there's not really much use. Anyways, as you can see, we were able to pick off 3 citadels and do plenty of damage to the 9k damage to the cruiser, to the Emil. And we got 3 torpedoes onto the New York. So we're already at a nice 56k because of the weapons, well, the armaments we chose. And now the first wave is dead. So we're going to keep armor piercing loaded for the cruiser, but we're going to go back for the heel circle. I don't actually know where I'm going to go. I'm planning on going towards the carrier, or at least this is my thought. So I'm going to go towards the carrier because that's the hardest spot. I'm in a gunboat. I can gun down the other destroyer at ease, and actually gun down Omaha with armor piercing and the torps for the carrier. So I was thinking do that. As you see, the shells get a little bit floaty. So if we were like 5 kilometers away, we'd probably be getting citadels. But because we're so far away, the shells are floaty, and so they're not doing the damage that you would at close range. I didn't go for all the heals because I don't need full heal. I just needed a little bit of a top off. You treat the heal circle like a top off. You don't treat it like a crutch. It's a grab and go, not a sit and stay there. And as you can see, the Scharnhorst and the Tirpitz, props to them, they are going really far up. They are taking the brunt. But again, when the first wave dies very quickly, that usually means a sign of a competent team, and that you will have to go and fight for all the damage. So I guess I may have given the impression that we have a competent team by doing 56k in the first bit. So we have the Tirpitz, who says he'll go transports. No, he'll go carrier, and they're asking who will go transports. I don't see any of the cruisers. Right now the cruisers are all at the wrong side. I don't see any of them, so I just say I'm going to go, because I don't see any of the cruisers moving to take care of transports. Also, being a destroyer, I am fast enough to go, and being a gunboat destroyer, I have the DPM to take out the destroyer. And there goes the Dallas. I didn't quite realize it was dead. If only I had an editor to edit that out. No. I don't make any money from this, so no editor. I am my own editor, and I won't edit that out. So we're focusing on Lagao there because that is immediate threat for the battleships. Now we're going to focus on Leander. Thankfully it's not shooting at us. And since we're head on to these cruisers, this is why we're shooting HE. And now we're in more or less in position to go. Now there are 2 ways to go for transports. One is to steal it all and go all around. And here I'm thinking, it's a little bit slow. I wonder if I can get, like the Galagao says he's going to stay with transports. I'm like, no, come with me. So I'm going to have to do the signal. Let's see. There we go. And so by going on him, was doing the that, I have the requesting support for him, and then here I'm marking on the map where I want them to go. It's nice to have the little ping markers, but I'm wanting them to go that way so that they can take care of the 2 transports, and I can focus on the far ones and then go straight to the harbor. And this is because inside the harbor is where you need it. And so people may say, oh, you don't need 2 people for transports. But 2 people for transports means those 2 people get in the harbor faster. Whereas 1 person for transports means that person is basically out of the fight. And so I don't want to be out of the fight. I want to be in it because I want more damage. And then we're going after St. Clair. Right now I only have the front 2 guns. I want more guns on it, so I'm going to have to turn a little bit after we get past the island. Because with only half the DPM, it's going to take a little bit. So I put on to full reverse because the smoke is getting in the way. But unfortunately, the smoke stays in the way. So here, I'm going to try and blind fire it, but not much luck blind firing it. There it is again. So I am in detection range for some of the transports, but I'm not worried about them. Because the St. Clair is the one, if it gets away, you lose the star. And is the easiest one to get away. But I'm also not chasing after it because I want all my guns on target, and I also want to be in position to take care of the other transports once the St. Clair is down. Okay, which now it's down. I see the other transports. I do a widespread because I'm wanting to hit both. I only have the 1 rack without using the reload booster, and I don't want to use the reload booster. So there's 1 hit. Unfortunately, I only get the 1 hit. Probably should have kept the narrow, but made sure I had the right angle. Either way, I have the DPM, and these tanker ships are much larger, so a lot of my shells are going to hit. And the Legal was able to get the other ones. And Legal is also fast enough to come back to the harbor too, being a French cruiser and all. I believe it has speed boost. Anyways, one thing I also want to point out is how nice everybody's being, but you know, there's some of the mistakes. So you have the Colorado, like instead of the Tirpitz, you know, the Tirpitz sank, but you have yeah, the Tirpitz sank, but you have the Colorado going up far north, and that's not really where you want to be. And then the Charles Marcel, he's going to try to say he's going to try a tank for number 3. He's not in the position. It's at the HP it's at, it's too low, especially since the Farragut is going inside the harbor instead of outside. So we have a Colorado that's now out of the match. And then the I see where the Tirpitz, if he actually went for CV, he probably would have been fine, but he went in the harbor and triggered the harbor, and that's where he died. But yeah, because of that, the Farragut's getting that. Anyways, so we're gonna sit right here. We're gonna smoke up, and then we're gonna reverse because they see us going forward, so they're gonna throw torps forward, and we're gonna get to reverse because a player would throw torps straight at the smoke screen, but the bots per day only throw torps on the white line, and so that's why we're doing that. Yeah, that Farragut took out everything. Gonna throw torps at the New Mexico while we can. But as you can see, we are just decimating the Omaha from there. Swap back to HE for the Bretang. Because if we can light a permanent fire, that would be nice. Oh, we didn't kill New Mexico. Let's see if we get torps. See, now he's being blocked. He's going so slow, and the torps are blocking, and our armor piercing to the side is just doing more damage. So now it's the torps. It just wasted the torp reload booster, because at this point it's just armor piercing. It's able to gun down the New Mexico in about the same amount of time as I would have been able to torp him. So now we see Indianapolis. We can actually go out of our smoke a little bit because he himself is in smoke, so he can't see us because of the smoke the destroyer laid. A little bit further. So there we go. Now we're flat on broadside. So now that we're flat on broadside, we're actually able to penetrate into the Citadel. Like at the slight angle was enough extra armor that we couldn't penetrate. And here, even though we're radared from the Chapayev, it doesn't matter, because nothing could shoot at us. And now the Scharnhorst 43 is in front. And we get 3 torpedoes onto the QE. Unfortunately, it was enough to save the Scharnhorst, who was burning. Now, there's only 4 people left. One is the Colorado way back. Only the Legal and the Charles Martel, I think. No, the Legal died. Helena and the Charles. And this is why we sit back here, because you have the island to protect. So if the Legal was here with us, it probably would have been helpful. So here we are. We're laying up smoke, because once it gets close, we'll be able to penetrate the broadside with citadels. But right now we're just setting on fire, because fire damage is helpful against bots with their high armor piercing. And the torpedoes from the Charles Martel. Hey, we got it dead. When bots see torpedoes, they use their hydroacoustic search, and that's why he used it. Even though we're in range, they're not using their hydroacoustic search to spot you. They're using it to spot more torpedoes. Now we have a Chapayev, who is giving us flat broadside. Oh no, where'd it go? Okay, there it is. And no more Chapayev. And all that's left now is the Colorado. And it's at this point is, why bother? And there we go, we get to use our last torpedo reload booster at the very end. So this is where we sit and relax. And so here, as you can see, we went after the transports, but then went straight back to the harbor. And this is why I wanted to get back in the harbor as soon as possible, because this area, this is where you need all the firepower, because the ships come in and come in and come in and come in. After the first wave is cleared, the second wave spawns. When the first ship from the second wave is taken out, the third wave will spawn. And so they come in quite quickly at the end. And so you really want to have as many people at the end at the same time as possible. Okay, and this gets, here we are at 461k damage, 722 shell hits, 15 torpedo hits, 13 kills, 45 citadels, and 12 fires. Only 3 floods from the 15 torpedoes. Strange for Japanese torpedoes. Natural selection, major contribution, so we did over 35% of the total damage of our team. Ray, which I have it as the old symbol because of a mod for Torpedo Man. And then we have Assistant. And I like the old one because it actually shows why you got the achievement rather than just a symbol of a ray. Yeah. And this puts us top of the team, even though it was a, what was it, 2 or 3 star? Yes. 2 star, 2 or 3 star. But we're top with 1400 basic XP, whereas everyone else got much lower. And yes, part of it was the transports, but the Lagow also got some of the transports. In fact, they got about half the damage of the transports. The majority actually for us was how much damage we did in the end compared to everyone else. And that's being in the position where we could get so many citadels. And as you see, we have twice as many shells fired and twice as many, almost twice as many shell hits. But armor piercing does a lot more damage, and that's due to all the citadels we were gaining. And that's also due to positioning, getting in a good position. Our torpedoes also, the 15 hit out of the 24 launch for a good bit of damage because we were doing it, we weren't launching willy-nilly, we were launching where we knew we could get hits, and that's why we have such a high hit ratio. Colorado at the end, only torpedoes. In fact, the hit ratio is off because the Colorado died before all 8 of the torpedoes could hit. Indianapolis, only AP. Omaha, only armor. 22 shells. And that's pretty much all of the HP of the Omaha. Fires, we only 2k from the 2 fires there. The fires, as you can see, we have 12 fires, but only 5k, and that's because as soon as a fire's lit, they use DCP, or by the time the fire's lit, they're almost dead or deleted anyways. And we were using greens for this because it's only a tech tree and not a premium. So that's why with greens we're only getting a couple and 2k XP, 7k a commander XP, only 270k. Okay, earned for battle, yeah, it says receive for battle 350k, but really it's only 270k because of the deductions. And a fun fact about this battle, this was, even though you can't see it on the screen, this was the battle. Maybe I'll try and throw up a picture if I see how it is. This was the battle I got Wisconsin with. This was the last battle I got Wisconsin with. So it's kind of a special battle for me. That said, I do hope you enjoyed this gunboat destroyer video, and if you did, go ahead and give a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about ops, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can see a notification. Obviously, I can't make you click that subscribe button because I'm